Hey YouTube, Joshua the Window Cleaner here with Heather the Window Woman, and we are here to talk about some really cool topics tonight. And we're going to give some stuff away. We got the big giveaway tonight, and we're also going to do a smaller giveaway on some of these products. And then we want you to request some products too that we can put on here. We might even be talking about that because actually one of the topics tonight is tool preferences. So we'll be talking about some tools. Maybe we'll give you some ideas of some things that we can put on the show. So Heather, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, how to get to your YouTube, and how did you start cleaning windows?
Hey, so I am a Northern California window cleaner, and I started my YouTube channel a couple years back just for fun. Um, Kind of still been going on, just kind of having fun with it. And I got into window cleaning through my dad. It's pretty simple. He showed me the ropes, and then I just kind of took it from there and went beyond what anything that he was going to do. It's a totally different company now, but I still have those grassroots of like when he taught me how to do it, and um, yeah, just kind of going from there. I don't know what else to say.
So how long have you been cleaning windows?
Yeah, God, I was just counting the other day. I keep thinking that it's like been 4 years, but actually, it's been about almost 7 years.
Oh wow,
Almost 7 years. If I count the time when I was working with my dad, it's been almost 7 years.
cool.
Yeah,
And where
I get
exactly are
yeah.
you located in Northern California?
Uh, Located in Napa is where I normally work, but I actually kind of work around like the Fairfield, Solano County area, if anybody's familiar with that, and Napa County and parts of Sonoma.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah.
actually I'm actually going up to Jamestown to do some gold panning. I do that every year, so I'll be
Oh,
up.
interesting.
I'll be up similar to that. Yeah, there's a. I'm kind of like a gold connoisseur, I guess. I've gotten into it. My dad's always been like a treasure hunter type of guy, and it's not even about like having the gold and becoming rich. It's just about finding the gold. It's super cool to find it. And there's a lot of gold out there in Jamestown. If you didn't know that,
I have
so
no idea. It's one of those things where like I'm working up here. I don't know half the
yeah.
stuff that goes on up here. I'll take your word for it. I've never been there.
Yeah, no, that's like right there where you're at. So yeah, how long have you been on YouTube? Just a couple years?
Yeah. I think I started it like my first video. I think I posted it in I want to say 2017. I think 2017 or 2018. I don't remember. It was all POV. I was just playing around with the GoPro that I bought. No, I was playing around with my phone. I didn't even have a GoPro. And I was filming like a house that I was doing and not even thinking about asking the customer to do it. I just kind of did it.
Yeah,
And then from there, I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. So I kind of kept doing it. And then I was kind of got more comfortable with actually showing my face because I wasn't very comfortable with that. And it was kind of weird. You know how it is. Like you're out and you're filming yourself and people are kind of like looking at you.
yeah,
I just kind of, that's all background noise. I don't do that anymore. It's
yeah.
just like, I think I even had somebody ask, like, who are you talking to one day? And I'm like, oh, I'm just filming a video for YouTube. And they're just like, okay.
Yeah, that's a lot more
But
common.
yeah,
As the time goes by, that's a lot more common to see people making YouTube videos or TikTok videos or stuff like that.
yeah, it's pretty common. Like, if I get more into like the downtown area where I work, because everybody's filming themselves for Instagram, like, because I work in the Napa area, so everybody comes down to go wine tasting, and there's all kinds of influencers that are doing their thing. So it's very normal when I'm in like the main part of town. They don't even notice, but like when I'm in the outskirts, like in the neighborhoods, they're just kind of like looking at you kind of weird, But I got used to it. I don't know. I didn't really start it with a goal. I didn't start my channel with any kind of goal. I guess the main motivation was I didn't see any other women like alone doing it alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I just kind of wanted to, I don't know, add to the mix of people out there and not just be all dudes, even though there's a lot of cool dudes out there. I don't know.
yeah,
I didn't really have a goal for it.
yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I totally feel that. So, and I love your channel. I've actually learned a lot of cool things on there, and I actually watched your videos whenever I first started making my videos. I seen your channel and I started watching your videos, and I learned a lot about editing. So I learned a lot about editing through watching your videos because I thought
Oh,
that
really?
yeah. So I thought your editing was just like phenomenal. I liked how you put words in there, and you could tell you spent a lot of time with the editing. And I always like that about your videos. And you're doing pretty good on subscribers now. How many subscribers do you have? Because I know it's like close to 700. I think the last time I checked.
Yeah, I think it was like 720 something.
Yeah.
It goes up and down. It's
Yeah.
seven almost. I think at one point it was almost at 800. Yeah, I don't know, somewhere around 700 something.
Well, heck
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't really like pay attention to it because that's kind
Yeah.
of kind of annoying to do.
It is.
That's like it's like trying to watch paint dry. Just let it happen in the background. I'm just whatever.
Yeah. Or cryptocurrency. Like, man, cryptocurrency. Watching crypto is like so
Yeah.
stressful. And I know that like everybody's getting into crypto now. So I got into crypto a few months ago, and I'm like, man, this is like so stressful. Like so stressful trying to watch it go
Yeah.
up and down. So yeah, no, I totally
Ugh.
feel that. So do you have any employees, or do you have like anybody helping you right now, or how big is the company?
Yeah, that's kind of like a not a super straightforward question to answer. I've had people I've hired, and like it's kind of been a learning experience. It was like friends of friends, just not the best way to get employees. I have my partner, he helps me in like a part-time capacity, but normally it's just me. I was actually going to hire a couple people this year. I had a couple people in line before. Well, I said this year, I meant last year. I was going to hire somebody before the pandemic, and then it just didn't work out. I was like, complete shutdown, lockdown. Only, what we got is important. Unfortunately, we couldn't hire anybody at the time. But I actually do plan on hiring somebody next year in a part-time capacity for the meantime. But I've kind of on and off had people I've hired, but it never really worked out. So
Nice.
mostly it's just me.
I think that's like one of the hardest things in the game is like
Mhm.
trying to find good employees. And to me, I had to like psych myself out and realize that like I'll never get anybody to do it exactly the way I'm going to do it. So if I can get somebody at like 75% and kind of course them in that direction,
Yeah.
that normally helps me. But it takes so long. And hiring multiple employees at one time, I tried that one time. That's not a good idea.
Oh no.
But
No, no, no,
but
no, no.
no,
I
yeah,
used
no,
to
I
do
tried that.
management. No,
Yeah.
no.
Well, the quality goes down. It goes way down, and that you don't give that proper training. You're not able to spend that time. And I have a guy that's been with me for like a year and a half now. Well, actually, over a year and a half, coming up on 2 years now. And he's been phenomenal. But it takes a certain type of person, and it's not for
Yep.
everybody. Like I have burned through so many people, and Robert has been just phenomenal. And then now I have Melissa, so I have a secretary now that does all of the phone calls and stuff like that, and that has been a huge
Oh,
blessing
nice.
for me. And that was a game changer for me because I was staying up all night trying to do all the accounting stuff and do everything, and now everything's on her plate, and she's almost been with me a year now. But we're about to hire. We got another guy starting this week, this coming week, or actually it would be next week by the time this actually airs. But yeah, so we'll see how that turns out. It's a guy from my church. It's really hard to find employees, especially right now with everything going on. Everybody's on unemployment, and everybody knows what's going on. So it's hard to find employees for everybody. It's not just this industry, but even before, it's an art to it. It's a craft. Like
Yeah.
window cleaning it's just it takes a certain type of person, and you got to have good vision. I learned that too because my little cousin came out from Alabama and cleaned windows with me for a summer, and he is
Oh, nice.
blind as a bat, and it was terrible going behind
Oh,
him, and like yeah, he was missing
you were
everything.
basically doing his job for him.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
man, that sucks.
I love him, but I was like,
Oh.
dude, you are killing me because I'm literally having to go
Yeah.
behind you and just like I'm like, how do you not see? I'm like, do you not see that? And he's like, I don't see it. And I'm like, you don't see that?
When it's family, it's like very much, you got to kind of be like, okay, sorry, this doesn't work out, but I can't fire you.
Yeah.
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 Originally, like I had worked with my brother years ago. So technically I've done windows longer, but I wouldn't count those years as my window cleaning years because my poor brother probably had to do all my windows over again. Same situation,
Yeah. It takes a while, it's not something that you can learn overnight, but it's something that I know I was fascinated with from the very first time I did it. I was so fascinated that somebody would pay money to have their windows cleaned. Like I couldn't really grasp that concept because I'm from Alabama and nobody cares about the windows. It rains and tornadoes and nobody cares about window cleaning there. And then which now I think about it, I'm like, well shoot, we got the university there. We got there's places that they're out there cleaning windows. There's windows cleaners down there in my area where I'm from. But I never would have thought that was a thing. When coming out here, being in Southern California, don't ever rain, and so it's like
Nope. Not right now.
there's so many pretty views and everything, and so and the same thing for me. I'm in Temecula, California, and so that's wine country. Like, we are in wine country, and so I'm right there with you. Do you do any wineries, or have you done any wineries?
Yeah, that's the majority of my work. I do wine bars. So if you ever visit Napa, you're gonna hit the main drag, which is like the downtown area. And there's outskirt areas, but that's the whole walkable spot that everybody goes, essentially fancy day drinking.
Yeah,
And so I do all those wine bars, like I do a ton, and there's a bunch of other stores that are connected to them. It's all a big network within a small space. And then I do some of the larger wineries that people actually go out to the vineyards to travel. We do their, I guess you can say it's their processing center and their winery bar. I do a lot of homes for the people who own the wineries. It's like a whole network. Like, literally, it's a grapevine network.
yeah. It's
It's
same out here. It's literally. I feel like everything you're describing, I'm like, that literally sounds like the community that I live in, because I live in Temecula.
Mhm.
So I love it here, and it's so beautiful. I mean, like, when the sun's coming up, when the sun's going down out there on the wineries, and out there with the big, huge houses where people, they have the vineyard in their yard and stuff, and it's so beautiful. But
Yeah.
I've never been to Napa, but I have been, like I said, to Jamestown. So I've been to Northern California. It's a totally different vibe up there, though. Like,
It is.
to me,
It is.
it's a totally different vibe. But yeah, so I want to talk about the tools we have to give away, not to get too far ahead, and then we're going to jump into some of the topics. I know we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. We're talking about some of the topics
Yeah, sure.
already. But yeah, so I just want to talk about the way we do it is I'm going to ask a question on here tonight, and we're going to be doing the Joshua the Window Cleaner Kit giveaway, and I'm going to go ahead and list off all the tools that come on the Joshua the Window Cleaner giveaway. You'll get the red, white, and blue Sorbo channel, the 18-inch, and then you'll get the 14-inch Quicksilver from Sorbo, and then you'll get the Unger Ninja bucket on a belt. That's probably my favorite besides the silencer, which is really hard to get. Unger Ninja T-bar with the golden glove. The golden glove just holds the most water, in my opinion. I really like it for outside and inside cleaning. It's just been my favorite, my go-to. Then you have two Unger Ninja handles for the Sorbo channels. You have the Mormon side bag here, and then you have the black bucket with the lid and the blue handle, and then the Unger sprayer on a belt, the Maker belt, the Maker handy sleeve, the 6-inch, and then you have the 6-inch Unger blade with the holster, and a 10-pack of Squeegee Live towels. So that is the Joshua Window Cleaner giveaway. So you're winning a whole bunch of tools on that. And so I'm going to ask the question right at the end of this show tonight, and then it's going to go on. This is going to be something that people are going to be able to enter in for the next month, but it's going to start tonight, and then we'll choose a winner on that. But we're also doing a smaller giveaway, and some of the smaller tools that we have to give away tonight, we have the 16-inch Viper with the black handle with a pack of rubbers that comes with a pack of rubbers. And I've really liked the 16-inch. I still like the 18-inch a little bit better, but the 16-inch is just a little bit smaller. You have the California Dream pole by Sorbo. And then you have from Maker, you have the small Maker kit giveaway with a 14-inch handy sleeve, the 14-inch Python Hedgehog, and the Scotsman with the bronze wool ends. And then we have just the 6-inch handy sleeve to give away, and then one of the Maker belt 3-lock clips to give away. And then we also still have the Ronin multi-cutter. We have the 14-inch Black Series sleeve with the Ninja T-bar. And then we have the 14-inch green rubber, the 18-inch green rubber. This has been a huge hit. Everybody's been loving the green rubber.
Yeah, those are good.
And then we also have the 18-inch Pro glove with the T-bar. And then we have the Contour Pro squeegee handle that comes with the Super channel. That's been a combo that a lot of people have liked that I've heard, so I'm going to give that away. And then we have from Wagtail, we have the Hip Dipper. Nobody has won that. I'm so curious for somebody to win that, because I want to see, like, is it going to soak your leg or what? Because that thing's like a bag. Like, I don't know. I like the name, though. I love the name, though. The Hip Dipper. Like, I wish they would have had, like, a more solid tool, though. Like, it's like a bag.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to see. So I can't wait for somebody to win that. Maybe they'll win it tonight. It's in the cup, so we'll see. And then we have the Wave. And then we also have the High Flyer, and all those tools were requested by somebody. I have not used those tools. I haven't even used the Wave yet. And the high flyer I've used a little bit. The only thing I noticed about the high flyer that was a little bit different than the Mowerman accelerator was my closeout when using it on the pole. When you close out trying to go down on a commercial, it didn't really work out as good as the accelerator. But if you close out to the side, then it worked out better with the high flyer than it would the Mowerman accelerator. But that was just my experience. I felt like it was grabbing the frame of the window with the high flyer. I can hear that metal to metal hitting, and I'm like, ooh, I hope I'm not scratching that, you know. But
it's lighter too. That's
yeah, and it is light. But there's so many things I don't like about the accelerator, and there's so many things that I really didn't like about the Wagtail. But I'm actually going to be making a review soon on my channel about that. I just got to get to editing the video, and I'm sure you know how that goes. It's a ton of editing.
God, yeah.
Like so many videos out there to edit. But and then every winner will actually get one Squeegee Life towel, and the first time winners get a Window Magic Supply T-shirt. And I have one long sleeve and one short sleeve left. I got to get some more of those from Randy. So Randy, if you're watching, I gotta make a pit stop through there and get some more stuff for the giveaway, and then I also got to get some more stuff from you. So, but yeah, so that's all the things we have to give away. Some of the smaller stuff, we have the bigger one to give away. So I hope you guys enjoy the tools. If you're out there and you've already gotten some of the giveaway tools, mention them in the comments. I always say that every week, just so that we can show the new people that people are actually winning things on here. You actually do get it in the mail, and you get to try these out and come back on the show and let us know what your experience was. So now that I've listed all the tools and wasted a whole bunch of more time, we're going to jump straight back into the topics and learn a little bit about window cleaning and what Heather's perspective is on it. So our first topic is we're going to talk about, and for the record, Heather, the window woman, came up with these topics, and then I kind of just branched off a little bit of the questions for these topics, and these are really good topics we have not talked about on giveaway night, so I'm super excited for them. So the first topic we're going to talk about is customer similarities and differences. And the first question I have for you was residential or commercial. And I know you said a lot of the wineries and families like that, but do you do any storefronts like Wendy's, McDonald's, like places like that, or is it just wineries and stuff?
Yeah, so I do storefronts. I do commercials. I do have a Wendy's, and I have a couple other, like, kind of, it's weird. So once I got like the Wendy's, all the other larger restaurants sort of fell in place. I don't know if they had talked to each other. But with the residential, I prefer residential because in our area, there's like a ton of homes, and one homeowner is going to own like 2 or 3 other properties, you know. But the thing that goes hand in hand with them is that a lot of the homes that I do, they own these businesses. So it's kind of like I'm working for the same customer, if that makes any sense. So like, it's not always a winery that they own. Sometimes they own another big industry in the area. They just want to live in Napa, but they'll own like another property that's a commercial property, whether it's a distribution company or something like that. A lot of it goes hand in hand. And then I do like smaller mom and pop shops. I have a couple that I've held on to that, you know, used to be my dad's customers that I kind of still maintain on like a smaller capacity. But this year, actually, the 2020 kind of inspired me to condense a lot of my commercials to kind of more bigger ones and sort of in the same area, and just kind of being smarter about it and not really going after, you know, I guess the term is like there's sort of like a race to the bottom, I guess a lot of people say, but that's only if you're getting commercials in the wrong areas, in my opinion. Like I stay away from really small strip malls and stuff like that, but I do kind of go towards more of the larger commercials nowadays. But there's nothing wrong with starting with the smaller ones, you know, if you're getting started.
How big of a commercial job would you do? Like how many stories up would you go?
Actually, the one I was doing today was about, let's see, roughly about 25 feet up was how big it was. It was like a big entry to a church we were doing or something like that. Technically, that's a commercial. So that, yeah, about 20 feet up. I've done jobs where we had to do the scissor lift. So that gets us about 40 feet up in the air. So yeah, but that's not normally on a regular basis. Like on a regular basis for a commercial, I'm probably using like the full length of the zero pole, like 12 feet up, you know, big window panes for viewing stuff. Yeah. So yeah, about 30 feet. I don't think I've gotten any higher than about 30 feet up. Yeah.
Cool.
For commercials. Yeah.
We do a lot of residential. We do a lot of commercial. We do a lot of wineries. The highest I've been up is 50 feet.
Hmm.
We do a huge building, and I've showed on my TikTok and my Facebook and stuff. And I actually am working on a video. Obviously, so many videos I'm working on, but I'm working on a video for that building. But if you watch my 4060 videos, the 4060 Tucker videos, I bought that for that job, and
Oh.
it looks like it's 3 stories, but each level is like 20 feet. So
Oh yeah.
I had to use a destroyer all the way up to 40 feet, and then get the universal extension to reach up to 50 feet, because that was the only way I was able to get up there. And you can't use a scissor lift. You can't even use a boom lift because
Yeah.
of all the landscaping that's around there. And it's like on a hill. There's power lines, and like I'm like, man. So I had to buy this to get this, and nobody else in town was able to do it. They were like, we can't get that upper one, and that was the main one she was kind of focused on. So I'm
Mm.
really glad we were able to do that. But I had to spend a lot of money to do it. But now we're maintaining them every 6 months. And so I'll get my money back, and I already kind of have, because of the jobs now I'm able to accept. We just did a quote for a stadium, Storm Stadium, Lake Elsinore
Oh,
Storm Stadium.
nice. Oh, I know that one.
836
Yeah.
836 windows, and they're going to go with us. We just got
Dang.
the confirmation. They sent us, and they said, hey, yeah, we want to go with you, but we want to break it down a little bit different than the way I quoted. And so I kind of got to rewrite it for them, but they were happy with that. We're going to do a little bit of trading too. I'm going to get like a suite where we can go to the baseball games and stuff like that, and I'll be able to
Oh, that's
network.
sweet.
And so I'm loving that. But I also told him, I said, I can't do the whole thing like that. I need money too, because I got to pay people. And,
Yeah.
you know, like I can't.
Yeah.
But
You are running a business.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I told him, I said, look, I got like, you know, a certain percentage for a VIP room, and then I also want to do an advertisement and say, everybody look at the windows, you know, during the baseball game. Everybody look at the windows. Positive Enterprises clean the windows here. You know what I mean? Like that would be huge for me, because I do all the windows in that area around the stadium too. So
You could probably pay for an ad spot. I get calls
Yeah.
for that all the time.
Well, I'm trying to get it for
Actually,
free.
yeah.
I'm trying to get it
Well,
for
I mean,
window
yeah.
cleaning.
I mean, like
Yeah.
advertisement in general.
Yeah.
I mean, free is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you brought up a good point. I didn't even think about that. I do probably do up to about 50 feet for residential, because we have the same kind of situation. Like homes are built on a hill and they're multi-level. Like the front might be 1 story, but the back is like 4, almost 5
Yeah.
stories, because they want that view. I don't even think So yeah, I think we bought a similar pole. It wasn't the destroyer for 50 feet, and yeah, it was an investment, but it's always worth it.
Yeah.
I actually got my leg all scratched up from going down the hill trying to get to, you play tug of war with the freaking hose, and you're just
Oh
like,
yeah,
ah.
it gets caught on everything.
I think I pulled it on, like I got it stuck on a stupid rock, and like I fell down and like I grabbed it from the hose, and I was like, oh god, I hope the customer doesn't see me, and they
Yeah.
didn't. But one of the neighbors was like, are you okay, honey? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Let me just brush myself off. I'm good.
Oh man, I've done houses
Yeah.
like that where it's like super sketchy. It's like a whole cliff, and it's like
Oh yeah.
it's like they didn't even think about it. It's almost like you would have to hang off, but you can kind of get down there a little bit. It's just rough, you know.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
dangerous.
I'm not trying to hang off the roof of somebody's house. I'm just not,
Mhm.
I'm not doing it. I mean, these
No.
houses are huge, but these are clay tiles, and you know, like you can't even. It's hard to even try to put a support up there when you're up on there, you know, because of the clay tiles.
Oh yeah, they do a lot of clay tiles in Southern California. We come across a
Man.
couple of those here, but we mostly come across those roofs, those metal roofs.
Oh yeah. Those are slick too. And you're trying to use a water fed
Yeah.
pole up there. I dealt with that
Mhm.
today. There was a residential that had one of the metal roofs, and luckily I have the slick resistant shoes, and the way I would do is I was trying to do this section and then follow behind me, because I didn't
Yep.
want to get it wet. But there's a process to like the different animals we deal with window cleaning. You know, like we have to.
People, it's always something. You know,
Yeah.
that's why they pay us.
Exactly. So you do residential, commercial storefronts. That's great. So do you do those weekly, monthly, or biannually?
For the residential or the commercial?
For each one, residential, commercial, and
Oh.
storefronts.
Yeah, I do. I have a good handful of residential customers that I do monthly and every 3 months, so kind of quarterly. And then I do most of my commercials are monthly. Some of them are weekly. And then every once in a while, it's every 3 months for the, smaller group of people. But yeah, this year has been a boom. I've had a lot of residential customers wanting almost monthly service, like maybe every 2 months, but still and that was a whole nother thing to figure out how to break that price down, because you're so used to, just charging them yearly or maybe like every 6 months. So the price doesn't really change. But I think with the residential, I kind of figured it out to be more like on an hourly basis.
Yeah.
If you've done the job once, you know how long it's going to take
Yep.
you. So then you kind of just price it from there.
Yeah.
And it's a little different for every job, but normally it's about like an hourly thing I do. That's the only time I break it down for hourly, is when it's a monthly job. So it was a learning experience. It was, for some reason, weird, and I don't know why. It shouldn't be. It's the same as commercial, but it's just somebody's house, so it makes it a little weirder.
Yeah, no, I totally feel that. And what about on commercials?
Yeah, normally those are like bi-monthly, so every 2 weeks. I do a lot of restaurants every 2 weeks. The Wendy's I talked about, I do that once a month. I do a lot of the winery bars, the wine bars. I do those every week because those get pretty crazy at night. I do most of my commercial customers are monthly. A lot of them are, especially if they're storefronts. They don't need them done that often. So the majority is like monthly or bi-monthly.
So it sounds like it's more of a maintenance than first-time cleans. Do you still get a lot of first-time cleans or first-time clients? You still get a lot of new clients coming? I know you said you get a lot of residential, but are you getting more people from now that everything's starting to open back up? And did you lose any of those commercials and storefronts during all that crap that was going on last year?
Yeah, I think I estimated that I lost about, probably about almost 40% of my commercial customers, and I only got back half of that percentage. So what I basically was starting not entirely from scratch, but pretty close to scratch. Some of them were still there, but they were not sure. Like they kind of went from monthly to like every 4 months or something like that. And then some of them ramped back up to monthly when, this year came around and things started opening up. But I still have a lot of holdovers that are not very comfortable, especially going into wintertime right now. So there are still some hold offs, but I do have a lot. Like I'll just be walking down the street, doing my route, and I'll have somebody stop and ask if I could do their windows or at least give them a quote for it. So there's still a lot of, demand for it, but it's just kind of, I can be more picky with it now than I was before.
How long do you stay booked out for? Do you normally stay out like 2 weeks or a month or 2 months or?
I am normally booked out at least a month and a half. Right now, I'm actually surprised we're still getting booked. Normally, August is our slowest month. I think we're still getting booked out. Right now, I'm booked out all the way till the middle of September.
That's crazy. So normally for us, so it's be June, July. So July is our busiest month as far as phone calls and everything goes. But then that always means that August is our busiest month as far as work goes. But then the phones start quieting, like being a little bit more quiet in August versus July. But man, we are hammered all summer long. And then all of a sudden it's just like, nope. And then December comes and it's like, absolutely not. Like nobody's doing it then. But it's good to have those maintenance jobs for that. So is there a weather difference there? Does it rain more there? Because it rained like one time the past, like, I feel like year here. Like we don't ever get any rain.
It is different. Like it's a little hard to say this year because of the drought we are going through right now. But we get what's called it's a marine layer, and it comes in the morning, and it stays till it covers the entire sun. So it stays, on a good day, it'll stay till about 10, maybe 11 o'clock in the morning. So you have all that coverage for about, if you start at like 8 o'clock in the morning, you got like a good 4 or 5 hours of coverage, and then it burns off and it's hot. But this year it's been really humid because of the fires. But normally we get a pretty good amount of rain around April, May, even earlier in March. So we do get a consistent amount of rain because we live in Northern California is a temperate rainforest. So it's a cold rainforest. We get a lot of rain to keep up that rainforest. So normally it's pretty wet, kind of like Seattle light, if you will. So we get a lot of rain, but not so much this year. Um,
Has it
it is
still
cooler
rained there this
weather.
year? Has it still rained this
It
year?
hasn't. We barely had any rain this year. We had some rain in, I think, May or something like that, like a couple of showers, and it's just been very dry. So it's very uncommon. But normally it's pretty wet up here, pretty chill weather most of the year. The hottest time of the year is in July, and then we get like a random heat wave in October. Yeah. So it doesn't. It's not as hot as it is in Southern California. I don't know if you know, I'm originally from Southern California.
Oh yeah,
There's
where?
just so much more asphalt in Southern California. That's probably why it's hotter there.
Oh, okay.
Riverside, if you were
Okay.
wondering.
Yeah, Riverside's
Yeah.
right above. I'm still in Riverside County technically.
Oh,
So
there's so much buildings in Riverside. It probably gets really hot out there.
yeah, no, it's hot. But
Just
I'm in the
joking.
valley, so I'm like it's a little bit cooler. We're kind of next to the ocean, so it kind of stays cooler at night, cooler in the morning, and then it starts heating up and hot. Kind of similar to what you were describing. But it does not rain. Like
Yeah, it's not
hardly
very
ever.
rainy.
Yeah, it's not very rainy here either. So is it more
Well,
like country feel out there? Or is it like city feel?
it's both, actually. So we have, I'm pretty sure that you guys have the microclimates in Southern California. I can't remember, but we get microclimates. So you'll go from like Napa is cool. The weather stays about 20 to 30 degrees colder than like the surrounding area. So you go from Napa and it's like country and nice and like super green. And then if you take the highway up the road up to like Davis, I don't know if you're familiar with that college, it's like flatlands, cows, hot, super hot, and dusty, and just kind of gross in general. Um, so it's weird. So it can go from like super cold. So if you go to San Francisco right now, it's very cold. But if you come into the valley, it's hot. So it just depends on where you're at. So my normal working conditions are about at the hottest about like 98, maybe 100 in the summertime. But on the average day, it's about 75, 80, around that in the summertime. But like I said, if you go up in the valley, it gets like 20, 30 degrees hotter. It's really weird. I don't know.
It's kind of similar to how it is here because we got the desert. You know, Palm Desert is out
Mm-hmm.
there and it's super hot, and here, like if you go down to San Diego, it's about 30 degrees cooler than if you go up to Los
Mm-hmm.
Angeles. You know, Los Angeles is going to be super hot, like desert feel. But from my experience, and I only been up to I went to San Francisco one time, and my experience was it was a more industrial feel going up through San Francisco versus going to San Diego. I got more of a beach feel. I mean, it's still like really busy in San Diego, but it's more industrial feel to me whenever I got to San Francisco. But it just might have been the areas that I went to. I went to Fremont is
Yeah.
where I went and stayed in Fremont for a couple of days, and it was really pretty out there, but it was just a totally different feel than Southern California. I mean, it was just almost like you're in two different states. It was
Yeah,
very
it's
different.
weird because people work really hard. They have a lot of town councils and they like to keep the towns as small as possible. I mean, there's big towns like the one I live in, but like Napa or the surrounding towns like St. Helena and stuff, they keep it like literally they fight for it to stay a small town, like a small town feel. Like Napa is still kind of a big town comparatively, but it's kind of there. You can go like 10 miles or 20 miles up that way and you're going to be in like a tiny town with like all the little kitschy stuff, and it's really weird. A lot of it could be either really kitschy and like really country, or like you said, like San Francisco, super industrial, like all the clubs, all the fun stuff to do. And it's only a couple, maybe a half an hour drive from each one of them. It's just so weird. Like, I don't know what it is. Like it's just there's Northern California. They like to keep some of their towns small. That's just how it is. They like the small town feel in some areas.
And here it's not. They're growing, building. Southern California is just like booming. Like everywhere you see, just neighborhoods all of a sudden, and hotels, and I mean
Yeah.
everywhere I turn. And I heard 10 years ago it was like country and everything was different, and everything has just grown so much the last 10 years in my area. And I'm like, keep building them, like shoot, this is job security, y'all. We
Yeah.
do construction cleans, like like it's just job security. The windows are going to get dirty, and it doesn't rain, so somebody's going to need to keep them clean. So the next topic I want to talk about is tool preferences. The first question I have for you:
Ah.
is water-fed pole brush. What tool preferences would you be for
Man,
water-fed pole brush?
I feel like I'm gonna open a can of worms, but I think my favorite probably, and I know it's almost like the base level, would be the Tucker brush. I did like the Unger brush for a while. I liked it because it was more aggressive. The problem though is it doesn't come with a swivel, and you just there's some jobs you can't do it without that swivel head. The back and forth.
Yep.
So I stick with the Tucker, and then I just got into. I just bought. It's really cool. It's a the same kind of steel wool attachment, or I'm sorry, the bronze wool attachment that goes on the back of the Tucker head. They just came out with a walnut scrubber, which is my personal absolute favorite. Walnut scrubber all day long, way better than any of the other scrubbers, and it's the same attachment on the back.
Really,
it lasts super long as long as you don't leave it in water and you let it out to dry, because it is an organic abrasive. It lasts a while, like a long time, way longer than any of the others in my personal experience.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that out, because I've seen other people say similar things. But I've been fixed on I use the handy sleeve with the bronze wool pad, but then the bronze wool has been like a nightmare trying to find and stuff. So
yeah,
that part, and so I've seen people say the walnut scrub. I'm gonna have to try that. So I'm gonna write that down, and I'm gonna put one on the giveaway night too. I'll talk to Randy about it. So walnut scrubber. Is there a specific brand?
Well, let's see. I think I bought. Not really. I can't think of a specific brand. I just buy like a generic. Well, I did buy the ones from WCR, probably the best because they're the thickest.
Okay.
I don't really know the brand of them, just whatever I got from WCR. Okay. And then they do sell some on Amazon. You just got to check the size, but I would just recommend getting them from WCR because they're way thicker. Okay. They're not super thin. Yeah.
And then you can just buy them from there. And where is the attachment for sale, or is this something you're trying?
The attachment is for sale. It comes with the walnut scrubber, and I think they only sell it at WCR. That's the only place I noticed it at. Unless somebody else has it, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. Yeah. I mean, alternatively, you can also just use one of the pads, the pad scrubber things that they sell, the IPC Eagle.
Yeah.
Pad scrubber.
The Technopad,
the same thing. Yeah, I tried the same thing with the Technopad. The only problem, though, is it's a little too floppy.
Okay.
So, sometimes, you gotta, push it to get it on the window, and it doesn't always stay on the window. So I kind of got frustrated with always having to fight with it.
Yeah.
And when I saw that they had an actual attachment for the water-fed pole, I was like, oh, hell yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're
I was
good.
like, I'm going to buy that. I'm going to get that.
Yeah.
Like, heck yes.
No, I'm going to have to try that. So I wrote that down. I'm going to try to get that on here, and I'm also going to try it myself. Yeah, that sounds
Well, the
awesome.
reason why I say I recommend it, because I used it on jobs that were almost, basically construction cleanup. It doesn't take off any silicone, but hard crusted on bird, junk and all that other stuff. It cuts it it's great for that kind of thing. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah,
I'm
gonna have to try
it. I would recommend it. No sponsor here, but I'm just recommend it.
Well, yeah, no, for sure. And what Tucker brush are you using? The hybrid, or are you using the boar's hair bristle brush? What are you?
Just a nylon.
Just a nylon?
I haven't tried boar's hair yet.
I love boar's hair. It scrubs bugs off so well. And I really like it for solar panel cleaning too. I would say honestly, that would probably be my favorite. Would be the Tucker. Boar's hair. Yeah, that would probably be my favorite. And I like the hybrid too. The hybrid works pretty good because I like having the nylon to scrub just a little bit better on the frames. But on commercial glass, the boar's hair just works so well. And I actually just bought some car washing brushes. I found some car washing brushes that are really thick, and they're horsehair. And so it's super thick. It's literally that thick, and it's horsehair, so they're really long.
Oh, dang.
And you can get in the frames real good and everything. And
nice.
And then I put 2 Moflos on top of it, so I got a good rinse. And that recently has been my favorite. And I actually have 3 poles set up like that because I got the different car washing brushes. So I just screwed in the Moflos on top, and I had 2 of them, like I said. But I have a delivery pump, so I can kind of control my pressure. And I have a remote and stuff through a van. I use a tank now instead of actually hooking up the 4060 on job site because I'm trying to.
Oh, nice.
I'm trying to have my employee more efficient. So I got a van. I got a 100-gallon tank, I got a battery running through it, and all he does is pull the hose and go. And
You'll have to send me one. I'll try it and then I'll send it back. But that sounds really interesting because I think I saw you doing that, like you were mixing the accelerator with something. I forgot what it was. You had it on your TikTok.
the Ren
And I was like,
Tuckmo.
what is he doing? Mad scientist over here.
Well, so what happened was, so that's the Ren Tuckmo. So I actually had some broken tools that I broke the handle that I had with the Sorbo channel. I was trying to fit a Sorbo channel in there, and I broke it. And so I threw it to the side. And then the Tucker brush, it wasn't broken, but I kept getting free ones coming in with my poles I was ordering. So I just take them to the side. My rinse bar was broken, so I put JB Weld on the ends and made it where it only comes out of the middle, so it's more pressure. But I still didn't like that. So far, the MoFlows are really nice, but I like pencil jets the best. And we're going to talk about that too on tool preferences because that's one of my questions for you. But yeah,
okay.
So my favorite water-fed pole brush would definitely be the boar's hair bristle brush or a horsehair brush if you can find them. They're really hard to find, and they're kind of expensive. But I have one. I got the idea from actually an 80s brush. I had a customer, and her husband passed away. He was a window cleaner. She gave me all his window cleaning tools, and he was from the 70s and 80s. So I got some really cool, like really cool window cleaning tools, old school window cleaning tools. And I took this old brush and sanded it down. It was hardwood mahogany, and it had horsehair in there, real horsehair. And I sanded it down, and then I used urethane, or not urethane, I used JB Weld and made like a little thing around the edges so that it would hold the wood together and it wouldn't fall apart. And then I conditioned the hairs, everything. And I've been using it for solar panels, and it works fantastic. Like I have loved it. But yeah, out there on the market, I would say the Tucker brushes. You should try the boar's hair brush. It's really nice.
I really, I don't know why I've been like putting it off. I think because so many people, either they don't know how to use the tool. So there's a lot of people who are like, it's crap, blah, blah. But I think it's just, you make sure you don't leave, right? You don't leave the bristles on the glass because it is going to leave dirt on there, right? Yep. You just kind of rinse it off. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it'll rinse
really
right off.
Try that.
They do fall off, but the longer you use it, after you use it for about a year, they don't really fall off anymore. All the ones that are going to fall off are right when you first starting, and I just give it an extra rinse. So that's going to be on any brush. Sometimes the bristles will fall off, which I haven't tried the solid nylon one, but all the ones with boar's hair they fall off. But I haven't had any problems with spotting or anything like that. That's worked so far for me. So, do you use water-fed pole for residential and commercial, or just commercial, or do you?
Well, I do. Yes and no. So, my go-to for residential normally is water-fed pole. However, there are a couple of homes that we do that are like the heritage homes that have the old-fashioned windows that are just metal and metal pulleys, And there's a big gap in between them, and I'm always super paranoid that I'm just going to get water everywhere on the inside of these homes. But most of the time, I want to say like 80% of the time, I'm using water-fed pole, unless, of course, the windows are horrendously dirty and they really need to get nose to glass. I don't know. Maybe it's just force of habit. Sometimes I tend to just do traditional on a first-time clean. Maybe I don't feel as confident that the water-fed pole is going to get it clean all the way. Yeah. But on maintenance, I'm always using water-fed pole.
So what water-fed pole do you use for residential the most?
Probably the Viper pole. Originally, I was using the Triple Crown, but I was having trouble with the clamps. The clamps kind of have a bit of a design flaw where they tend to fall off. I don't know why. The pole itself is actually pretty stiff and nice and light, but I just couldn't rely on the clamps, so I stuck with the Viper pole, which came with my Pure Water Power water-fed pole system. And at first it's kind of heavy, but you kind of get used to it. You can just take sections off and stuff. That's what I do. So I normally just use the Viper pole. I actually don't really have that many water-fed poles right now. I haven't bought too many, just for whatever reason. I did kind of want to get the Destroyer. I keep seeing everybody using it, and it looks legit. Like, it looks really legit.
It's legit.
Yeah.
It's legit.
I mean, I don't know what to
say. Go look on my channel whenever you get a chance, and go look at my review on it. I took so many. I literally spent a month of footage getting different footage of me using the 30-foot all the way up to the 50-foot. And it just says all the information about it, and I give it 5 stars. And I wasn't a big fan of the Pro High mod. I actually made some people mad about my review on there, but I'm honest about my review. But I tell you what, the Destroyer, fantastic, and you have so much control. And I talked to Steve-O about it, and he said that you have control up to 70 feet with the Destroyer. Anything after that, it's just ridiculous. Like he said, yeah, but he said you got full control. And I, compared to the Pro High mod that I used the first time I did this big huge job at 50 feet, it was so wobbly and hard to handle. And when I used the Destroyer, it was so easy to control. So that's been my go-to for commercials, has been the micro, depending on the size, because the micro has been awesome too. And then I use the Destroyer. And residentials, the same thing. The micro, probably my favorite on residentials. Or I use the trad pole. I actually have a trad pole that I use for water-fed pole for 1-story maintenance jobs, because I can burn through them really quickly.
Yeah, I was gonna say I use the maker pole for the 1-stories as well, because like sometimes you get in those tight situations, and like the best thing about it is you could just collapse it, right?
Yep.
But the thing is, like, the only downside is though, I gotta get a separate pole for that one, because with the maker pole it's great, but it has so many clasps on it that if you're not running the line in the pole, it's just going to get tied up on it. That's the only downside of it. Other than that, that's great for first stories. I just grab the 0 poles for the first story windows if I'm doing those, just because it's lighter. I don't know. It's kind of what it is. I think the other day I was working and I saw a guy, he had just a DI resin. I think he was just a power washer, but he was using one of those Home Depot blue poles, and I'm like, look at him, like completely flat. I'm like,
the younger one,
like bending. I'm like, okay, whatever gets the job done. But, oh my god,
I have that pole. I can't. That's why I'm scratching my neck. I got that pole. I started with that pole too, so maybe he's just getting started. I still have it.
That's
so
true,
I still have that blue pole, man. I know. I have it. And then I upgraded myself to the green one when I found out that there was actually like a window cleaning place I could buy tools from. I was like, there's a window cleaning place? Like, what? Like,
yeah. I discovered the green pole and I was like, I felt so professional. And then now I have all of them.
Oh my gosh.
They're still there.
Yeah.
They're still there.
No, I still have 2 of the 30-foot green ones. And man, I tell you what, there's the heaviest pole, like, and it just, I just don't, compared to the 0 ones or something that it's just more rigid. And it's just not, there's no comparison. But I didn't know.
You know what I used? I used the DACA. I don't know. It's on my videos. I had the DACA pole that I did the review for. That was actually my first water-fed pole, believe it or not. I jerry-rigged a brush on that thing. That was probably the floppiest freaking thing in the whole world, like a big fish in the air. Like, because I acquired like an Unger DI water-fed pole thing. I forget what they're called. Just the basic Unger DI thing, and I had no pole. But I had a brush, and I put it on the end of it, and that it was like one job, and that was it. I was like, never again. I'm gonna go buy an actual setup. This is insane. I'm never doing that again.
All the time you spend everything. No, I rigged some. I rigged a few things up too, and then whenever I started, the first place I found out that I could buy tools from was Detroit Sponge. And I had not even heard of Window Cleaning Resource or any of the other ones I know. I mean, I have like a whole list of ones that I know of now because I did a lot of research and all that. But I tell you, and it's cool because if knowing those other companies, you can get special. It's like every company has their own specialty tools too, you know. And so that's super cool because you're going to get something different with each one. And you can get hooked to some of the products too. Like I know I'm hooked on a lot of the 0 products right now. But there's some 0 products I don't like. I'm hooked on the Sorbo products for sure. But there's But there's some Sorbo products I don't like, you know. So I'm not fixed on one thing. I'm totally open to whatever makes it most efficient because that's how my employees get paid and that's how I get paid. So
you know, at the end of the day, that's just how it is. You got to be the most efficient you can be.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, if you want to talk about trad tools, like I've had a complete game changer and trad tools because I think the year before, last summer, I injured this elbow here. I was working with a rotary tool trying to do some hard water removal but I wasn't holding it properly, and I just injured it. So it's been kind of on and off. But I got the Sorbo bucket, the leaf bucket.
Mhm.
That thing is an absolute game changer. I'll probably do a video on it soon, but holy moly, I don't know what I was doing without that thing. It's amazing. Like, I could pack all my tools in it. I got all the water I need. I have like no soreness at the end of the day because I'm not hauling a bucket around. It just seems it's a common sense. I don't know why I never bought that before. It's amazing.
What's it
And
called?
The Sorbo leaf cart, like I think LEAF.
I think that's the one he's always demonstrating. He always has, like, in his demonstrations. Yeah.
It's underrated. It's underrated in my opinion. I think just maybe because a lot of people can't fit it in their car if they run out of a car or a smaller vehicle. But honestly, like, I even fit that thing inside of my car one time when I had to, do some repairs on my van. And I honestly can't do commercials without it, like storefront commercials, going from one commercial to the next.
Yeah.
I even bring it on residential jobs if it's a big property because I'm just pushing the cart around. And the plus side of it is if I'm working around a lot of people, it's a good way to move people out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah. I set cones up. I just started doing that. I set cones up.
Yes.
Like,
I know. Same here this year. I don't know why I never did that.
I don't know why I never did that either. I started doing that this year, though. I'll actually, when we go do commercial jobs, I put a cone in the parking spot beside me because I don't want nobody parking next to me because I'm going in and out of the van and all that, and I don't want to bump into somebody's car. So I started putting a cone. And I bought like a little cheap cone, and it actually lights up and everything. So if I'm at night or anything,
oh, there you go.
It makes it look like somebody's like at the van, so nobody's like a break into my stuff, But yeah, so what is on your tool belt? That was my question for the traditional tools. Like, what is on your tool belt?
Yeah, so I mean, I had that video I put out, but I've actually completely changed my tool belt. I'm actually focusing on more minimal tool belt stuff, just because like it. So much weight over time can hurt your hips. So what I just go with is either I switch it out with the Mormon dry walker. That's been my favorite for residential because it literally, I've never dropped any water on the ground with that thing. And then I have another Boab. I think I switch it between the Ninja Boab for commercials just because it's kind of, it can handle running around a lot.
Yep.
And then I have a... what's it called? The towel frog. I think that's what it's called. It's just a loop that you put your towel on. And I jerry-rigged another towel frog on the other side to hold kind of like, just something to clean up the ground and stuff with. So normally I just have one towel on me with a Boab and then maybe an extra towel in my back pocket. I've gone almost completely minimal this year. Sometimes when I have a bigger job and I want to hold more towels, I'll put the Mormon pouch on my side. But so far, I've been going as minimal as possible, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Just because, over the years, having a tool belt has hurt, my hips and stuff like that. So I gotta be a little bit more careful.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of, I switch it out a lot, actually. Like, I add things to it and take things off all the time. But on a daily basis, it's normally just a towel, my Boab, and maybe a razor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, mine changes too daily. Going back on water-fed pole real quick, I did want to ask you because I got one question I got to ask you. So, do you prefer rinse bar, fan jets, or pencil jets?
Man, you made me pick one. Come on. Okay,
yeah.
So I hooked up. Okay, so my partner helped me. He had the idea, so I'm gonna give him the credit for this. But he hooked up a rinse bar with a pencil jet. And I loved that combo. It was amazing because I never had to worry about hydrophobic versus regular glass. And the Tucker rinse bar broke.
Yeah.
Like the little attachment. So now I'm just running pencil jet, which is fine. But honestly, I prefer them together.
Yeah.
But if I have to, I'm always running pencil jet no matter what. I don't really like the fans for some reason alone. Like fan jets alone, I don't like them. Yeah. Pencil jet all the way. Yeah.
Have you tried the MoFlow?
The MoFlow, no, I don't think so.
So the MoFlow, it goes on top of the brush. I just posted on TikTok, so you can go to my TikTok and see a video I just made today, which is 2 weeks away or whatever, 2 weeks ago when this video airs. But anyway, so it's a thing that goes on top. It screws on top. but it's almost like a little fan. It's like a rinse bar, but I put two on top of it, and it's so much water pouring when there's the hydrophobic glass. It's like it doesn't even exist because it's so much water being poured
Oh.
with this little fan. And I actually took my drill and drilled a little bit more and made it a little bit wider, and so there's more flow coming out than it was when I ordered it. But these are just they're like $11, and they just you could. That's why I got the car wash brush. I could just screw it right on top of the car wash brush and then just keep on going. But to me,
Oh no.
it put more water on the glass than the rinse bar. But I too use the rinse bar and the pencil jets. I don't like fan jets either. But the MoFlows are a little bit different because there's more flow coming out of a fan jet. I even tried the Rinse King, which I wasn't even a big fan of, because there's not enough water on the glass. And that's what I was trying to explain to some of the guys that are making the tools that I get a chance to talk to. I say, hey, look, like when you're making like a rinse bar, you're making something like that, you want to make sure you put enough water on the glass. Like a lot of people are trying to do less water because of your tank, your delivery tank. I get it. Just you're quicker if you have so much water just flooding down. It just pushes everything off the glass. But you need that pressure also to grab that dirt off the glass and push it. And then you also need a whole bunch of water so that it can all drain down and have a spot-free shine. And so the MoFlows have worked phenomenally, but you have to use two of them. It works. It's so much water. It's just like what we're talking about with the pencil jets and the rinse bar. It's because there's so much water on the glass. That's why we like that the most. And it's also so much pressure on the glass. But if you didn't have enough pressure, you wouldn't be able to use both. So you'll have to go back to the pencil jets. And if you have you see what I'm saying? So you can't use both at every situation if you're using it. But at DI, now if you have a small DI tank, DI you'll have plenty of pressure. You won't have any problems. But when you get into the reverse osmosis, you get into the RO DI tanks, it's a whole nother realm. It's not a lot of pressure. You have to get a pump, and there's just a whole lot that goes into it.
Yeah, we run a pump like probably 70% of the time just because of low pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the MoFlows, where did you get those? Because I bought the Rinse King, and it's finicky, and you really got to like condition it, or else you're just going to get water everywhere. It really only worked in a certain situations. It doesn't really work with like certain windows because it hits the top of it. You know, you can run it on the side, but then you're going to get all this backsplash. So I had issues with that one, but where did you get the MoFlows?
So I got the MoFlows from Window Cleaning Resource, and I think they're like $11. I bought 4 of them and it was like $50. But all they are is a 3D printed little thing with a little hole in it, and they just screws right on top of the brush. And they're like bluish color.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. They have those at a local shop of mine. I didn't even know that was what that was.
Yeah, that you try it. Like, it is great. But I would recommend 2. 1 was not enough. It's not enough water, not enough pressure. Two side by side, and have the fans jets like this, crossing over each other. So in the middle, it's got the most. And then what I do is I'll go up and rinse the top and then rinse the sides and then rinse the glass like that. And it's just like it fans down. And my employee said he liked it because on the French panes, he said, I just hold it down. He said, I don't even have to rinse. He said, I just go down with it slowly and it rinses all the French panes and you don't have nothing to worry about. Even on the fake ones, it'll get behind there because it's so much water flowing behind it. And so you can do French paints pretty quick.
Those fake ones. Yeah, the ones that like, they drip all the time. Okay, that's okay. Well, I got to check that out because that's always good because what takes the longest is always rinsing the glass and making sure
That's it. Because if you don't have a good rinse, you're going to go back, so, every single time. And I'm impatient too. And so on slider doors I always do try to do slider doors first so I can let them dry and go back and see. Because those are the ones that always spot up on me because I get impatient, especially on the hydrophobic glass. I'm like, come on, it's taking forever. I'm trying to get out of here. But yeah, so what hoses do you use? Do you use the 5/16 or do you use the 3/8, just a straight 3/8?
I use a 3/8 ODO, and if I want to use my checker brush, I have to use a converter.
Okay.
Convert to the smaller hose size.
I got you. So what I do is I have a 5/16 hose that runs about 20 feet longer than my pole, and then I hook that straight into the 3/8. So then that way my pressure is still the same, but then I can run it through my water fed pole, and then I have the the univalve in there. So all I gotta do is I pull my hose and it cuts on and off. But the univalve is expensive. It's like $100.
Yeah, it is. And I broke mine, but it broke a little too easy for my unfortunate uses.
Did you get it from WCR?
I did, yeah.
All you have to do is mention it to them that it broke, and they'll send you another one.
Oh shoot! Well, that was like a year ago, but
yeah.
Oh, well.
But you can still, even the rinse bars too. If you mention that the rinse bars broke, they'll send you another one for free.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I normally just buy those shut off valves, the ones you can turn on and off.
Yeah.
That's just what I do. I put one on the top of the brush, like if I'm doing a first story, and then I have it down, like I measured it out about 20, 30 feet down that down the line.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, if it's all the way up, I can just shut it off when I'm down instead of having to like pull the the whole thing down.
Yeah, because at higher, I noticed that at higher, when you're higher up, the univalve doesn't work as good. So
oh really?
Yeah, when you're higher up, the univalve doesn't work as good. You got to pull really hard to try to get it to cut on and off. So what I do is similar to what you do. I have a valve that turns on and off, and when my pole's fully extended, that's why I have the 5/16 hose about 20 feet longer than my pole, because when I have it fully extended, my valve is right next to me, so I can just turn it on and off. But that's just something that I had learned over time. So going back to the traditional, what is your favorite squeegee, your favorite rubber, and your favorite sleeve, and is it 14 or 18 inch?
Okay, so favorite squeegee would be Mormon with the what is it? The Unger S bar. That is my absolute favorite. And then of course I have my little thing that keeps it in place. And let's see here, rubber. God, that's a hard one. Probably my favorite rubber would be Black Diamond for sure. I always go back to Black Diamond, although the Unger Green is a big contender. I've been kind of going between those two. And then sleeve would be the Maker sleeve for commercial, because I can just swap it out if I need something more aggressive. You can
You
do
about
the different sleeves.
Yeah.
And then if I need something a little lighter, I go with the Atori with the Unger Green sleeve because it holds the most water.
Is that called the Monsoon?
The Unger Green sleeve. I don't remember what it's called. I just call it the Unger Green sleeve. I'm sure it has a name.
I think it's called the Monsoon. I haven't tried that one yet, but I've seen it. So I have to try it out.
I think the Monsoon is under the Ninja brand.
Oh, okay.
I think. I'm not sure 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been using the 14 inch more than the 18 inch, just because I kind of run into odd shaped windows even for commercial. And also because it doesn't hit under my armpit.
Yeah.
With the 14 inch if I'm doing commercials all day long. Yeah, so normally it's like 14 inch Maker pole or Maker sleeve that I can just swap out.
Cool. So do you have like stack ladders or do you have like a regular ladder?
I do not have stack ladders. I've actually never worked with a stack ladder before. I have the Warner ladders. I have like an 18 footer and then a 25 footer. And then I used to have a 28 foot ladder. I think it was just a generic, painter's ladder, and I never ever used it, so I sold it.
I got the little giants, and I got them that go almost all the way up to 30 feet. I like them because
those are the heaviest.
They are heavy, but they have the levelers on it, and that's what I like about it the most because they're already attached. I don't have to worry about it. Super easy to use. But most of the time, I try to use water-fed pole if possible. But yeah, those commercial ones. But I've always wanted to try the stack ladders, and I might actually buy some for my employee because, like you said, they're so heavy. I mean, my employee, he's a grown man. He cannot handle that biggest ladder. I'm the only one that can. I kid you not. Early in the morning, we were doing solar panels. Just a quick rundown of the story. He literally, I saw this ladder up in the air, and I got the ladder up for him. I told him to hold it for a second. And I was like, I'm going to run to the van real quick. And I heard kapow! The ladder fell over on him, but luckily it fell on a swing set that was in the backyard, and it didn't smash him. But I was like, okay, you're never touching this ladder again, like ever.
That is like an insurance nightmare. Oh my god!
Luckily,
you got to know how to work those.
On him. Yeah. Well, I showed him, but he didn't have the strength. It was too heavy for him. and it was, he was trying to hold it, and it was taking him for a ride. So
Jeez.
yeah, so I got to find a way, because we don't have another ladder that he can get on a 2-story roof, so I always have to go with him on those jobs and set the ladder up. And so we might go with a stack ladder or something lighter for him to be able to get up on a roof. But yeah, he hasn't handled that since that day, and that was only one time. And I was like, "You're never touching this ladder again." So
wait, was it the 18-foot one, or is it the
no,
bigger one?
No. It was the bigger one. I think I want to say it's like a 30-foot. It's like a 29 or 30-foot, but it extends out, and it's so long. Like it's super long, and
I know which one you're talking about. I used to have that one too.
It's so heavy, like it's ridiculous. Do you use a vacuum or track brushes to clean the tracks, or do you even clean the tracks on residentials?
I use both. Yeah, I use like the track brush, the one that's like literally track brush with the red bristles. That thing is awesome. But what I'll do is I'll use that one in tandem with my I think I have like the big Ryobi vacuum cleaner. The thing though, like the downside is like the battery, you got to kind of like conserve it, because most of the time it's only about maybe 40 minutes for each battery. So for like really nasty tracks, like if I work in the valley, we get this weird hay stuff that people get in their tracks, so you got to really like brush it out. So I use the track brush to like push it towards the vacuum cleaner. And then also if the tracks are really muddy, so if my partner's working outside and he's wetting a window before I get to the tracks, then I got all this mud to deal with. So I just use the vacuum to vacuum it up. It's super quick. But like on a basic clean, I just use a regular track brush, or even just like a tile cleaner brush. Those work too. Yeah,
that's a pretty good idea. All right, so you said you will be able to go live after the show on Friday?
On Friday, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So we are going to do a live show. I have another topic. We're going to talk about marketing similarities and differences. We've been on here for about an hour and 10 minutes. So I want to make sure that we are more productive. So that's why I wanted to go over all these topics, because I feel like we got a lot of good information from Heather the Window Woman and her perspective and all the things that she's been through. And the tools that she uses every day. So thank you so much for your time, Heather. I really appreciate it. And
yeah, thanks for having me on.
So as soon as this is over, guys, go right back to my channel and click on the live show. I'll have a live show ready to be similar to this, and we'll be on there, and we'll be able to answer any questions and stuff. And then we have a couple more topics we want to talk about. So I want to go ahead and have the question for tonight's giveaway night, and then we'll do the small giveaway. We're going to do the giveaways real quick. So tell me your story on how you started window cleaning, and I'll choose a winner in a month, and the best story wins, and I will share it on the show. I'll actually read the story on the show, but the best story will win the Joshua the Window Cleaner giveaway kit. So that's how you win. You want to go to my email, joshuathewindowcleaner@gmail.com, and you just tell me your story. It can be anybody. You tell me your story, and then I'm going to send this to you. You can use it for yourself. You can use it for an employee as you're growing your business or anything like that. So you tell me your story. I'm going to go through all of them, and the best one wins. Now, Heather, do you want to ask a window cleaner question about a tool or something to give the small giveaway? You got a small question? We got a kitty cat in the frame. He wants to know the question.
Yeah. Sorry, what was the question again?
Okay. So do you have a question that you could ask that a real window cleaner would know about a tool or something that we can do for the giveaway tonight?
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Who made the first squeegee rubber? Who patented the first squeegee rubber?
That is good. That's a good one there. Who patented the first squeegee rubber? And we'll put that up in the comments right now, and we'll highlight it so that you'll know that question. But for now, we're going to go ahead and draw from the cup and see what somebody out there, if you already answered or not, somebody out there is going to win. And you see the yellow ones here are new stuff, and the green ones are kind of the older ones. I got a lot of older tools on here, and I'm going to close my eyes and just draw from here. And we got the Ettore Pro Glove with the T-bar. So this is what you win, just a smaller giveaway. You also will get a Squeegee Life towel, and if it's your first win, then you will get a T-shirt as well. And if you've already won, I'll go ahead and send you a long sleeve T-shirt just because this is a smaller giveaway. But congratulations to whoever you are, whoever answered that question. If you haven't answered that question, or if nobody's answered that question yet, then we'll proceed it on to the live show. And the first one that answers in the live show will win this and win the Squeegee Life towel. So I'll go ahead and set that to the side. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining us on the giveaway show. This has been a pre-recorded show, so we actually made this video like 2 weeks before it's actually airing. But thank you so much, Heather the Window Woman, for all of your time. You've spent so much time with me, giving me so much information, and I just really appreciate it. And we'll see y'all on the show right after this. Like I said, go right back to my channel and look for that live show, and we'll be on there to ask or answer any questions and ask you some questions and get your feedback. So thank you so much. Thank you, Heather, once again, and we'll see y'all on the live show.
All right, thanks.
It is up.